Hello and welcome back to Second and Two podcast. I'm your host, TB. I got my co-host, producer extraordinaire, master of the grills, hat connoisseur, background in business, and as I've said multiple times now, one of the best people I know. Jody, happy week 1, my friend.
Sheesh, we made it, bro. It's been a long time coming. Before we get into football talk, I
Week one.
thought you were gonna say that I got a haircut or something in that
You
in that
did.
introduction, which I thought. I mean, granted, I didn't want to air that out. It doesn't matter, but I thought it was gonna be said in that introduction. You pivoted on me. I was like, dang, first time he didn't just roll up with something on the fly.
Well, it's the hat, bro. It's the hat. The
Yeah,
hat
that's true.
distracted me from the haircut. The haircut does look good though.
Yeah, I think it's been like 2 months since my last one, so I needed it bad. At work, they were like, "Yo, you need to get a haircut," and I was like, "Yeah, it's already scheduled for Wednesday. Like, I'll have one the next time I work."
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah,
So we finally made it to week 1. It's like a
yes,
national
sir.
holiday, week 1 of the NFL season. Things kick off. There's stuff to talk about. We're finally here. We're recording on Sunday night right now. During the Sunday night football game, it's currently 19-0 Cowboys. The Giants have looked terrible.
26-0, bro.
Okay, so they just scored again, 26-0 Cowboys. So we are not missing much with the Sunday night football game. We may be missing out on some good football tomorrow on the Monday night football
Yeah,
game.
that's
But
for sure.
basically, other than those two games, we have seen all of the action of week 1. We're here to cover it all. We've got a lot to cover today, jam-packed pod. So we're going to start with a coaching update from me.
Let's hear it, bro.
Um,
How'd your team do? I know you told us in the group chat, but let everyone know what you were telling us.
Oh yeah, dude. We're 3-0 right now. First time the tribe has been 3-0 since
Dang,
2004.
you're
I
just
was like,
shattering records out there, huh?
yeah, I was like 8 years old the last time Morton football was 3-0. We won our game Friday night 62-0. First shutout of my career as a defense coordinator. I've had a lot of games where we only gave up one touchdown,
Yeah,
and this is the first time I finally got a shutout, which was cool.
yeah, that's sick.
We've only given up 8 points in 3 games so
That's
far
crazy.
on
2
defense.
points a game on D?
Yeah, we 3 games, 8 points. I mean, we've given up 20 points overall, but the other 12 points came on a kickoff return for a touchdown in our first
Uh-huh.
game. And
Okay,
then
yeah,
in the
that's
second game,
special teams.
yeah, in the second game, we gave up a sack fumble that got returned for a touchdown on offense.
Okay.
So other than that, in that second game, we gave up a 2-point conversion and then a touchdown. So we gave up those 8 points in game 2, but we gave up 0 on defense in game 1, and then we actually got the shutout in game 3. So
Yeah.
we're doing good stuff. We only gave up 43 yards of offense Friday night.
Hey,
So
passing the
pretty
ball or running?
total.
No, but I mean, like, was that for
They
the run game or passing?
they got
Or just a
38 yards.
combination?
They got 38 yards on one passing play. So for the rest of the game, they
That's
got
crazy.
5 yards other than that one play. I mean, we really did
Ton of
dominate
sacks
them.
or what? Or just incompletions?
A
Or
lot of
both?
lot of TFLs, a lot of incompletions. Yeah, they only completed, I think, 3 passes, and one of them was for a
Dang.
negative yard gain. So now, in
Oh,
saying that, we're playing really well, but we're also playing against some teams that are not very good so far, and it's gonna
yeah,
start getting harder.
yeah.
And we also could get a lot better. I mean, I know that sounds crazy when I just told you we gave up 43 yards of offense, but like there's stuff on film that we can
Yeah,
be better
as
at. And
always.
yeah, I mean, we're still not exactly where we need to be if we want to be the team we want to be, but we're certainly getting better every week. And I'm a proud coach right now, so things are going well.
Yeah, that's good. What do you got any people on your squad that you think are gonna be dogs in the next couple weeks or that have already shown some glimmers?
Oh yeah, our quarterback
Um,
had 6 total touchdowns,
he likes to run, huh?
three rushing, 3 passing. Yeah, he's a dog. He's a dog,
Alright.
no question. But we got to get to some NFL news, dude. So
Fact.
we took last week off specifically so that we could wait to record on Sunday night after week 1. So what that means is we didn't get to talk about the last 2 Hard Knocks episodes. So I
Yeah,
figured we could quickly recap final thoughts on the Jets Hard Knocks. It's still relevant because they haven't played yet. They'll play tomorrow.
true,
Anything that you
true,
took
true.
away from those last couple episodes?
Well, I'm gonna be honest, I completely missed last week's, but I could go look at my notes real quick from the one before. So let's see.
Well,
I got. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'll just say that the 2 undrafted rookie receivers making the team, which I guess spoiler alert for you,
Yeah,
was really cool.
yeah. That
Both
sounds
those
good.
guys made the team and they're
Oh,
friends.
was
They
it
grew a
the?
friendship on the
Yeah,
show.
yeah, yeah. I was
Yeah.
gonna say. Yeah, I
And
remember seeing those
the
two
dudes
on
who were
there.
playing ping pong and everything, yeah,
Yep, yep.
they both made
Yeah,
the squad, which
that's
is pretty
sick.
rare.
Yeah,
And
I
they
thought it was
got
gonna be one
real
or the other. The way it was getting like shown.
mhm,
Yeah,
they got real props from Rodgers too. Their receivers
that's
coach was
good.
super hyped for him. That was cool. Our dude, the D lineman, he got cut, but then they brought
Yeah,
him back on the practice
practice
squad.
squad.
So that was cool too because they brought him back. Got to see Dalvin really with the Jets finally
Yeah,
practicing and ready to roll. So there's a lot of good stuff. I think in total, my biggest takeaway though, I think Rodgers is legit.
yeah.
He looked really good in that final preseason game. Like I don't think he's washed, not yet anyway. And I think that Jets defense is so good that that combined with Rodgers and Garrett Wilson on offense,
Yeah, it's gonna be
the Jets are
crazy.
gonna be a force in the
Yeah,
AFC. They're gonna be someone you got to deal with for sure.
yeah. I mean, the whole AFC is already crazy, but I mean, you got that fool coming over from the NFC North and takes a team that just outside the playoffs with a really good D, and they can only go up from there, right?
hmm
But yeah,
Um,
for the quick notes I had on that on the second to last episode, I don't know if you saw when they were cooking the food, but it looked like they had French toast, PB and J, and that looked like straight gas, bro. I was like, whoa, they just combined some crazy
that's
food
that's
together,
the
and it looked
that's the
so
banger of the
good.
week right there. Gonna have to try that one.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt. And then, oh, I don't know about you, but they had the Sexy Red playing at the practice, and then ski. Yeah, bro, that was in my head for like 2
Oh,
weeks. I
so
added that to
so
my workout playlist, my leg day workout playlist, and I just ski everywhere, bro.
so I have a quick story about that.
Let's hear.
Teach obviously I teach kids and
Yeah,
one of the kids in my class absolutely ruined that song for me
really.
because
Why is that? He just kept
he
playing
just
it.
comes yes he just no he doesn't play it. He's not allowed to play music in the classroom, but he just kept coming into class and going, "Hey coach, when you're trying to say what's up, ski," and I was like, "Stop, it's over now, like stop." And now
Yeah,
he just does it every day, and I'm like, all right, well that song has been ruined for me. I'm good
yeah,
on that song. It's funny because he's also one of my players.
yeah. Makes
So
sense.
in the game Friday night, he's a kid who's a freshman, and we were winning by
Okay,
so many
okay.
points.
He was
So
in.
he got to go in the game, and
Yeah.
as he was going on his way into the game, I told him, "I'm trying to see what's up, ski," and he was like, "So
Coach.
yeah, he was pretty hyped, and he actually made a play on a deep ball, so he probably could have picked
Oh,
it,
he's
but
a DB.
yeah, he's a DB.
Nice, nice.
So but anyway, continue. That was my quick aside.
And then the two dudes you're talking about, I wrote down that NFL players also hate up downs even going forward from high school. You know, that was their
Yep.
bet in that ping pong game, and they were like,
Mhm.
"Nah, not no up downs."
Nah, still can't do the up downs. Yeah, I
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
that.
But yeah, no, I gotta watch that last episode, get caught up, and it seemed like a really good season of Hard Knocks. I haven't watched the last couple, even the in season one with the Cardinals last year,
I
but
didn't watch that. Yeah.
yeah, but I will say it seems like I might have some Hard Knocks effects on me, or the Jets are really gonna be nice, and it didn't matter what we seen because they're gonna be for real. So that we'll
Yeah.
find out tomorrow for sure.
We will find out. We'll do a quick roundup of NFL news.
Bet,
First
bet.
thing that happened while we were away, they got it done last minute. Nick Bosa, highest
Yeah,
paid
got paid.
defensive player in the NFL now.
Well, our guy Joey B got a deal too.
Yep. Yep.
275 with like 220 or something guaranteed.
Yep, and Bosa got 170 over 5, so 34 mil a year.
Dang.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild. um, I mean, golly, the guys are getting paid. Good
Yeah,
for
but
them.
I remember I seen a tweet on X saying, I remember back when Joey B said he was gonna take a pay cut to keep the team.
I
Throwing
like that you
shade to
had
the
to
man getting
say.
paid
I
on
thought you
X.
said it. Tweet on X. It
Yeah.
still gets me every
I
time.
told you, bro. They got to name it something different.
Yeah, yeah. In other news, a little bit sadder news here. J.K. Dobbins tore his Achilles
Yeah, that's
today,
tough.
out for the year. The probably the worst injury of the day. I mean, you got to feel for that guy because he's been in the league. I think this is year 3, and it feels like he's had a season-ending
He's
injury
injuring.
every
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
I mean, he was really working hard to get back this year, and then he gets to play in game 1. He plays well, by the way.
Yeah. He's
And this
balling.
is the thing. He plays well every time he's healthy and he gets to play, but it seems like he always gets hurt. And
Yeah.
that is unfortunately been the story of the Ravens the last couple years. They've been really
Yeah.
good, gotten injured down the stretch, and whether it's been to J.K. Dobbins, Lamar Jackson, players on defense like Marlon Humphrey, who by the way is injured right now, Mark Andrews at tight end, like
Yep.
they can't stay healthy, and it's something about it reminds me of when we went that stretch with the Niners at the beginning of the Shanahan era where they couldn't stay healthy ever, and everyone
I
was
mean,
kind
their
of hating on
quarterback is
Shanahan.
kind of that situation right now to the
Yeah.
last couple years.
So, I think praying for a speedy recovery for J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah.
Hope he can come
Uh,
back next year. I mean,
I'm
it's just a
sure
bummer.
mentally it's tough altogether. Having you get to the league, right? That alone is something crazy. And then, you get to play a couple games injured, play a couple games again injured, and that definitely takes a toll. We seen with Brees Hall on Hard Knocks out. His was just last year, right, during his rookie year, and
Mhm.
multiple
Well, and
multiple ending injuries. That's tough.
it's got to be especially frustrating when you do play, your production is high and
Oh
you're a
yeah,
good
privilege.
player. And it's like, I just want to prove that I'm a great player. And the only thing standing in the way of that is literally my body being healthy. I could imagine that being a really, really
Yeah,
frustrating, mental headspace that J.K. Dobbins is in. So hopefully his teammates pick him up because, yeah, I could just imagine that's frustrating right now for him. So we'll go maybe some lighter news, some more fun news. Our guy Bijan had a
yeah,
great
Bijan, bro.
He had a
All
great
right,
opening game. My guy had 10 rushes, 56 yards, 6 catches, 27 yards, and a touchdown. He looked good.
yeah. So on my lunch, I pulled up Red Zone real quick, and that touchdown of his, he had that cut, and I was like, oh my god, bro, he's still nice. My guy's
He's
still
still
nice.
He did
Yeah,
that
bro.
jump cut. Remember, we talked
Yes.
about it in the draft process. Like, we're like, dude, this guy's jump cut is insane, and it showed up in the first
Yeah.
game.
Yeah. And well, I'll get more into it later, but yeah, that team, they might be better than I would have expected altogether, but they're also playing the Panthers. I don't want to
Yeah, yeah.
make it seem like they were balling.
Another guy who we really like, Jahmyr Gibbs,
Yeah.
looked good. The Lions did not give him the
They
ball
didn't
enough,
want to
though.
they didn't want to feed the
Free
man, though.
free my man Jahmyr Gibbs because he needs more touches. His limited touches, he looked really good on Thursday night.
Oh yeah.
Also, the Lions won the opener in
Yep.
Kansas City, big time win.
Yep.
I
Yep.
think probably a bigger win for the Lions than it was a bad loss for the
For
Chiefs,
the
if that
Chiefs.
makes
Yeah.
sense.
I
I
agree with
think
that. Yeah.
The Chiefs were missing 2 of their best players. Kadarius Toney
A
had
lot
the
of
worst receiver game we've seen in like
ever.
quite some time. Um, but just props to the Lions, props
Yeah.
to Jared
Getting it
Goff.
done.
He's 2-0
Dan
against Pat
Campbell.
Mahomes.
Yeah, I seen that
Yeah,
stat. That's crazy.
shout out Dan Campbell, faking a punt early in the game on his own like 10-yard line or something, 15-yard line, whatever it was. I mean, balls of steel on that guy, huh?
I was gonna say the cojones were massive on that play.
Yeah, dude. So big time win for the Lions. Again, Jahmyr Gibbs needs more touches though. Keep that in
Facts,
mind.
big facts.
And I think the Chiefs will be okay. I do think their lack of receivers though is
Yeah,
starting to show, and that was a concern we had. That was something we pointed out this offseason. So I'm keeping an eye on that because that's still I
Who was
don't
that?
think Kadarius Toney is going to be terrible the rest of the way,
Yeah.
but that was not
There
a good
was
game
one
for
dude,
him.
I think his name was Watson. I'm not positive,
Yeah,
but
Watson, number
yeah,
84.
he seemed promising.
Yeah,
Like,
he was a player who was not bad for them last year.
oh, I didn't even know he was there last year, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, I mean, him and Valdez-Scantling are
Yeah,
serviceable. Sky Moore is getting better every day.
true.
But I just think that they're right now, when Kelsey is not in the lineup, they lack a
They're
true
struggling. Yeah.
number one, and that's where it kind of shows up. Like Tony was open, he just wasn't making plays.
What about
Um,
that run play on, like, 3rd and short where they did the little pass from Shoddy and it just went nowhere or something?
I
I don't
mean,
remember.
people didn't like the play call.
Yeah. But it's funny because at the end of the play, you just see Patty Mahomes just, like, throw his arms. He's like, "Come on, bro."
Yeah, I mean, he was frustrated.
Yeah.
Dude, how many times in his career have they scored less than 21 points in a game?
I don't know.
Probably very few. I'd like to see that stat.
Probably, like,
And
2 at the most.
yeah, and he scored 20 points. I mean, that's low for that guy. That's low for him and
Yeah.
Andy Reid. But like I said, that's the infrastructure of Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid is still there, so I'm not panicking on the Chiefs at
Yeah.
all. There's no reason to overreact to that one game, but it is a big win for the Lions because it showed win, lose, or draw in that game. They played with the Chiefs in Arrowhead, and they did
Yeah.
come out with the win. So big win for the Lions. Um,
Yeah, no doubt.
Going to another game today. I have a question for you, Jody.
Let's hear it.
Are the Los Angeles Rams back from the dead? Everyone was talking about them like they were going to be the worst team in the league this offseason. Oh, got to pay the Pied Piper, all those picks, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah, blah.
yeah.
They had a dominating win today in Seattle, 30-13.
Yeah,
Absolutely
that's
destroyed the
crazy.
Seahawks in the second half, outscoring them 23-0 in the second half.
Yeah. I know when I
Un-
left the gym, it said that the Seahawks only had 10 yards on offense
of
at that
offense
moment in time. I was
in the
like, "That's
entire second
crazy."
half.
Yeah.
It was insane. The Seahawks also lost both starting tackles in that game to injury. Not
Okay.
sure how severe those injuries are yet.
That's
Both of
tough
them
to fill.
happened in the second half.
Uh-huh.
And that's a real concern for the Seahawks for sure.
Yeah.
They did not get to debut our guy that we really love, Devin
JSN?
Witherspoon.
Oh.
No, Devin Witherspoon did not play today. JSN did play, very
Did he?
quiet. I think he had like one catch.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
they really
mean,
didn't scheme up to get him the ball, it seemed like. Metcalf had their one touchdown.
yeah.
Tyler Lockett was like okay
Did
today,
he finish
but
the game? I saw
Tyler,
when I was at the gym, he took, like, a big hit, like, to the head area, and I was like, "I don't know if he's playing
he
the
did
rest."
come back. They
Okay.
determined it was not a concussion that he took. It was just I think it was one of those he
It's a
took a
big
really
blow to
tough
the
hit.
head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so but just big win for the Rams,
Yeah.
and
For sure.
it's only
Prove
week
me wrong.
1. It's only week 1, but I did think it was a, big time win for them to go into Seattle
Yeah.
without Cooper
Yeah.
Kupp, might I add, and come away with
Yeah.
not just a win, but like a
But a big one?
blowout,
Yeah.
17-point blowout win. So big win for the Rams. We'll see what it means for Seattle. Obviously the Rams play the 49ers next week, so we'll
Yeah.
really
At
find out.
home.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be tough.
Any other news that we got to get to?
Did you wanna talk Baker real quick? Beating the Vikings on the road?
Dude, Baker winning
The
in Minnesota. That was a
juice.
shocker.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as like, hey, the Rams dominating in Seattle was kind of a shocker, I think, to most. The
Yeah.
Bucks winning in week 1 on the road
I
at
wouldn't have guessed it
Minnesota.
either.
Um,
Yeah.
Baker had a couple plays, man. Baker made a couple plays when they needed him. He looked good. Can I get back in on Baker Mayfield stock? I know I had it for a long time. I finally kind of gave it up, and then I kind of tried to get it back last year when he was
You're
on the
buying low.
Rams.
You got in at a good time right now.
Yeah,
Get 2
yeah,
more
yeah.
weeks and he's playing like this, you might not be able to
Yeah,
get in
I
there.
don't know, dude. Maybe Baker's it. Maybe Baker's coming back. We'll find out. But yeah, I think that was a big win for the Bucks. Good job for them. Again,
Yeah.
can't overreact to week 1, but that's a big win.
Yeah. I mean, hey, but in order to, not go over, you gotta win 1. So they started somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Let's see. I guess since we're talking all this football, do you want to get into that fantasy? Our fantasy that we set up?
Yes, sir. You got to update the people. Where are we at
Yeah.
right now?
All right. So currently, the score for both our teams are 129.8 for me. I got no one else playing. With the team of Jalen Hurts, Josh Jacobs, Christian McCaffrey, AJ Brown, Tyreek Hill. We got our sub because we got some injuries this week. So Coop not playing got me Tyreek Hill, which was huge.
Yeah.
Evan Ingram, Mark Andrews didn't play. I got Jahmyr Gibbs, Justin Tucker. Yours is 109.14. You're currently waiting on Saquon to finish this game.
Oof.
You got Patty Mahomes, Nick Chubb, Saquon, as I said, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, TJ Hawkinson. Hawkinson's taking over for Kelsey because he was hurt.
Yeah.
And we got Bijan and Harrison Butker. You know that pretty Chiefs heavy right here, I think. Yeah? Am I
Yeah.
not
I mean,
mistaken?
the bummer for me was my guy, Jamar Chase,
Yeah,
had about a probably will have had the worst day he'll have all year.
true. And
Not
you know who it hurt in their fantasy team? Mine. I got him
yeah.
and Joey B. That was like
Yeah.
12 points combined, bro.
Well, so we didn't talk about this, but I've not played fantasy football in a long time. I did this with you
Yeah,
because this is easy. We don't actually
yeah,
have to
yeah,
manage lineups or anything. But my friends from college, they did convince me to join a league this year because they needed one more.
yeah,
And it
yeah,
was kind of a chance to stay in touch with my friends from college. So I was like, all right, this is the first time in about 6 years that I've played.
yeah.
And they got me to play, and my team was awful today. I had T. Higgins and Drake London. Neither one of
Ooh,
those scored a single point.
yeah.
So needless
Dang.
to say, my team did not win.
Hey, let me
we,
tell
had,
you, I
we
got
had a rough
Brandon
one.
Ayuk on my bench right now, bro.
Oh,
With that
he
team
went off.
where, yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
saw that.
I saw his touchdown in my on my lunch break, bro. It was like the Tyreek one we seen too, where it's like last second, just like bloop, right in the pocket, touchdown. Tough
Yeah,
day.
yeah. I mean, we've got a lot of games to get to, so I don't want to spoil anything. There's a lot we're going to come back to on some of these games, but we'll just leave the fantasy at that part in terms of the score. But we do have an update. Did we decide what the loser has to get for the winner?
Yeah, so if I'm not mistaken, you wanted so if I lost, I paid for myself to go hang out with you and then buy you dinner out there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, that's what we settled on. I have what I was gonna have in mind. I'm not gonna say it all because I want to surprise you one day. But I will. Let's just say there's a hat somewhere in the works, possibly down the road.
Let's go. All right. Love it. So in terms of finality here, there's a
Yeah,
hat in the works, and the loser will visit the winner and buy him dinner. This is how we're doing this.
yeah. So
Okay.
what I was gonna suggest originally was we could either put a price amount on something, right?
Mhm.
On whatever. But we already got the final answer. But I was gonna say we put a price amount on something, or I was gonna say what I plan on doing in the future. We could make that the gift. But we're good where we're at.
Okay.
I'll
All
surprise you
right.
one day though. You'll see.
Sounds good. Sounds good. All right. So we got to get to awards for this week. If you haven't been listening, if you're new to the pod, you didn't listen last year, we do weekly awards. We got some creative ones. Some of them are inside jokes between me and Jody. Some are
The
outwardly
classic.
jokes that we'll just explain to you.
Yep.
And others are just highlighting fun stuff that happened throughout this weekend, college football, NFL football. Obviously, most of them focus on the NFL, but we may sprinkle in some college football here
There
and
you
there.
go.
Our first award is a shout out to our high school head coach. We have the Tukwa Gamer of the Week award. Jody, I'll let you go first. Who was your Gamer of the Week?
So my gamer of the week this week is gonna be none other than Tyreek Hill, who I talked about on my fantasy team, being lucky to have him start. He went 215 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns, and 11 catches. I will say this game was on while I was at the gym, so I got to catch a decent amount of it. And the dude's untouchable. He's too fast. There's a reason he's the cheetah. This dude, he caught a ball in the middle of the field, ran across to the other side, and ran out of bounds untouched. Maybe they touched him on a dude diving, trying to tackle him in the back, and they barely got his jersey. This dude is too good. Like I said, he had that touchdown where last second threw his hands up. Tiny window for this dude Tua to stick the ball in. And I was like, this guy's insane. He's too good.
Trust that Tua will be coming up again later.
Oh, yeah, no
Yeah.
doubt.
Tyreek Hill is a freaking dog. Like that guy, it's like when you watch him, sometimes it feels like he's moving in like times two speed compared to
Yeah,
everyone
yeah.
else. Like
He's
it's
too
just like amazing what he's able to do. I don't know that I've ever seen anyone faster on a football field than that dude. It's
and
insane. Even at his age, he's now 29 going on 30, and this guy's still
production's insane.
miles faster than everyone
Yeah,
else. I mean,
yeah.
he had arguably the best game of his career today. Like legitimately, he was that good. Hit Tua as well, but
Yeah.
again, we'll get to Tua. My gamer of the week, Matthew the Soul Snatcher Stafford. All right, this guy goes on the road in Seattle, which by the way is one of the toughest places to play in the NFL.
Yeah, 12
He's
men.
the second oldest starting quarterback in the league. He does not have his top receiver. Cooper Kupp is on IR and will miss at least the first 4 weeks.
Yep.
And this man absolutely balls out in a 30-13 victory. I mean, people were talking this offseason. You know, if you listen to other major podcasts, I won't call them out right now, but a lot of them were saying Stafford was done. Stafford's
Yeah.
old. Stafford was thinking about retirement. Stafford can't connect with the young guys on his team. Stafford took a hit to the spleen or whatever it was last year, and you know, all that stuff, right? And at the end of the day, the man looks healthy and he looks as good as he ever has. It looks just as good
It
as when
looked
they
like
won the
some
Super Bowl.
lions, man.
I mean,
Listen,
it
Shades. He had
wasn't
that
just
run. He had that
he
run.
ran the ball today. He escaped pressure. He was able to throw sidearm. He was fitting the ball in windows. I mean, the guy went 24 for 38, 334 yards. He had 3 carries for 11 yards. He literally, and he did this with Puka Nacua, who was a 5th-round rookie out of
Yeah.
BYU, and Tutu Atwell, who's in his 3rd season from Louisville, but had done almost nothing his first 2 years with the
No,
Rams.
for real.
And both of those guys had 119 yards receiving today. Stafford was dropping dimes all day long with relatively unknown guys. I mean, they did get some hype in training camp, but I think that was really mostly from Rams fans and Rams people. It wasn't like national news. People know who Puka Nacua is now, and if you play fantasy football, go get that dude on your roster because Stafford gave him like 15 targets today, and Nacua was awesome.
Yeah.
So that's my gamer of the week, Matthew Stafford, going in without his top receiver and winning on the road in dominating fashion.
No, it's very respectable. I mean, like I said, I'm pretty sure you missed a rushing touchdown, right? He ran one in, like a little punching.
No, they did try and sneak one into him, but he didn't get in. He didn't make it. And then he didn't have any passing touchdowns today. He was very close on one to Puka Nacua, which would have been like a 50-yard touchdown. The Rams were very methodical on their drives, and they took 2 shots, and neither one of them. They literally both times the receivers like had the ball in their hands and didn't catch it. Van Jefferson dropped one wide open that could have been a touchdown, and then Puka's was one of those like where he laid out and the ball hit him in the hands, and it would have been a touchdown if he could have brought it in. Yeah, he just couldn't quite get it. So
gotcha.
Yeah, Stafford was dealing. He didn't have a touchdown today, but he was really good.
Gotcha. Well, the next one we got the Jody's dog of the week. You know what I mean? So the dog of the week, for those who don't know, it's gonna be me picking, a player. It could be anyone, honestly, for whatever reason. Maybe Cooper Kupp one day has a big block down the stretch on a long run from Cam Akers or something. That's how this guy gets chosen. But this week I'm rolling Aaron Jones, running back out of the Packers, bro. My guy. Crazy numbers on the man. Too bad, sadly. He got hurt on a touchdown run.
He did pull a hammy, I believe. I'm looking at it now to see if we have an update on him.
But at the moment of before we started recording, I don't know how these games are going with Tony Pollard or whatever, but our guy Aaron Jones had the most fantasy points of any running back this week. He had 9 carries, 41 yards, and a touchdown. with 2 receptions, 86 yards, and a touchdown. Now, if being a two-way back is the way to go this year, that this man showed he could do it. You know what I mean? And the fact that he didn't even get to finish the game and he has the most points in fantasy is crazy to me. So my guy Aaron Jones wins the dog of the week. Pitbull.
Just to give a quick update, Aaron Jones says he felt this is very fitting. He's your dog of the week.
Yeah.
When they interviewed him after the game, he said he felt a little bite in his hamstring on the touchdown run. So that's fitting. And it sounds like he may be okay and that it was more of a precautionary thing that they took him out when they did because they were winning big when they took him out. So Aaron Jones maybe
He'll
has
be
a
back.
shot to be a dog again. Yes, sir.
He'll be back.
All right. The next award we've got comes from me. It's my minor setback for a major comeback of the week. And usually this is either a player or a team that had a rough week, but I don't expect that to continue.
Yeah,
They're really good. They're gonna be fine. And so this week we got to go to Bengals and specifically Joe Burrow, Joey B, Joe Burrow, Joe Jose Barrose. All right,
Joe Cool, Joe Shiesty,
the man who got paid. Joe Shiesty himself, Joe Bag. Yeah. So he missed the entire preseason with a calf injury. He really had not practiced a whole lot, it sounded like, up until this week. And I expected the Bengals to start slow. The Bengals have lost 3 of their last 4 season openers. They played a Browns team that is very talented, that I think people are underestimating. I picked them to go 9-8 this year, and that was really only because of the division they're in is so tough. If they're in any other division, I tell you, I think the Browns are like an 11-6 football team. But the Browns are very talented. Their defense is perfectly designed to get after Joe Burrow up front. They've got great DBs on the back end. They're fast at linebacker. And Deshaun Watson looked better today for the Browns. Not great, but better and good enough because their defense was absolutely dominant. And I think for the Bengals, their offensive line struggled a little bit. They've got some new guys up front, Orlando Brown, and it seemed like Joey B just looked a little off today. I don't expect that to continue, though. I did think the Bengals would get off to a slow start, so I'm not surprised. Again, all their guys missing preseason, specifically the quarterback not practicing. It's just hard. It's hard to do that and then just come out and be the best version of yourself. There's a reason that teams practice. And so I had a feeling
that last week they always get their plays in right there to help prepare to get, that slow start into the next season.
So, I mean, I did have a feeling the Bengals would start slow before all those reasons, but I don't expect that to last the whole season.
Yeah, no doubt.
I think by about week 3, week 4, you'll see Joey B back to being himself, and T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. And all those dudes will be back. I'm not sure. We can look at who the Bengals play next week, but I expect them to be much better going forward. So minor setback, major comeback, Joey B and the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, I mean, it's a no-brainer. We know these dudes are built to make a nice run. It's just a matter of Sorry, I was looking at the schedule. It's a matter of them just letting Joe Burrow get comfortable, getting some reps under him. Because, I mean, with the calf, he probably literally was very limited, just probably throwing the ball, if anything, at practice. So that's definitely going to be slow. Next week isn't going to get any easier, though, bro. They're playing the Ravens at home. I guess that helps a little bit. But
that's going to be a big game. No question. Big game. All right, so our next award, we call this the No Cap Hats Off Award. This is like the most unbelievable play we saw all week. This award goes back to the Jacoby Myers intercepted pass against the Raiders when the Raiders won on the walk-off, Chandler Jones last year. It was one of the craziest things we'd ever seen. So we named an award after that play just so we could talk about it.
Yeah.
And so that's where we are. So my no cap hats off play goes this week actually is in college football. Texas, Alabama. Jody, you got the hook'em in the background. Our friend of the program, our guy. How's he feeling, by the way?
Mitch, bro, he's
Yeah,
stoked. Let me tell you,
I know he
during that
is.
game, he was hitting us like before it started. He sent me a snap saying, "Oh, big game today. We got
Mhm.
we got Bama." And then like I think they had a lead at a half or something. I couldn't really tell you. Send us another one. Just got to finish out the game. And
Yeah.
then at the end, when they won by like 10, he was like, "Let's go!"
Hey, tell our guy Mitch, and I hope he listens. Mitch, if you're listening, congrats on the big dub for Texas. They may finally, I don't want to say it and jinx them, but they may finally
They're back.
actually be back. They may actually be back. The burnt orange looked good on Saturday. I'll say a couple things and then I'll actually get to the plays I'm talking about here for our
Yeah.
no cap hats off. But number one, I have not seen a Nick Saban Alabama team dominated in the trenches specifically. Maybe since like '08, really. I mean,
Dang, so like
seriously, it's
early
been
Saban.
a early Saban Alabama. I don't think
Yeah.
I've seen an Alabama coached or Saban coached Alabama team be dominated up front. Now, even in some of their losses, like even in the national championship loss to Georgia, they were out athleted and Georgia was faster and they lost on the perimeter and stuff.
Yeah.
But even in those games, I didn't feel like they were beat up front. I mean, Saturday night they were beat up front.
Okay.
So shout out
The
to
big
Texas.
fellas. Okay.
Yeah, the big fellas for Texas were doing work. The next thing is this: Quinn Ewers, completely different
The
player.
man, huh?
I mean, one, he lost 20 pounds. His body
Oh,
looks completely different. It's like he went from like chunky Russ to early career Russ.
okay.
And by
I
Russ, we
got
mean
you. I
Russell
got you.
Wilson.
Yeah, yeah.
So his body looks completely transformed. He shaved the mullet. He stopped doing a lot of the look at me things.
Oh,
And he straight up looks like a different person, a different player. He was so calm in the game. I mean, Kirk Herbstreit could not stop raving about this guy, and I couldn't even blame him because everything he was saying was true. Every time they needed to play, even when Alabama took the lead in the third quarter, the dude came back, led 2 touchdown drives like that, like
dang.
boom, boom, and was hitting every throw he needed to hit. Quinn Ewers, different guy this year. I think that is a big reason why Texas may legitimately be back, is that kid is a lot
Yeah.
better. So shout out to Quinn Ewers. He's actually a part of my no cap hats off award here. In the game, huge play. Texas is winning. They have a 4th and 1, right? So Quinn
Yeah.
Ewers gets the snap to QB sneak, loses the ball. Their running back picks it up, scoops it. It just so happens to go to him, scoops it, and gets the first down. However, the referees blow the whistle and say the ball goes back to the spot of the recovery on the fumble because on 4th down, you cannot advance a fumble forward.
Oh,
However,
rules.
however, upon review, it was determined that Quinn Ewers never had possession. Therefore, it's he never actually attained the snap because the ball never got
Yeah.
into his hands really. It kind of ricocheted off of him and just happened to go in the running back's hands.
Yeah.
So what it means is that they said it's technically like a lateral or a backwards pass
Uh-huh.
because he never had possession, which means they did give them the first down.
Yeah. That's
So it was
crazy.
a roller coaster of emotions for Alabama and Texas fans because it was a huge play. I mean, like I said,
Yeah.
Texas had the lead, but it was only by 3 points at the time, I believe. And if they get the first down, they have the ball in Alabama territory with the lead, or Alabama gets the ball in their territory, depending on that replay and how that gets worked
Yeah.
out. Huge play,
Dang.
huge swing of momentum. Texas gets the ball. I mean, like I said, you couldn't believe that that's what happened. The very next play, Quinn Ewers throws a ball, it gets batted back into his hands, and this guy goes and gets like 8 yards after catching his own pass. This is back-to-back plays. I mean, it was that kind of night. Texas
Yeah.
dominated 34-24 in a road win at Alabama, which, by the way, was Nick Saban's first non-SEC home loss since 2008.
Dang, more stat nuggets. That's crazy.
Huge for Texas. Huge win. Shout out,
Yeah.
Mitch.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this is like a little precursor to next year. Yeah, is that when they're ending up there, right? They're going
In the
SEC.
SEC, yeah.
Yeah. So that's a little something to watch out for. Speaking of college, real quick, before we get into our next award for the big fellas, let me just say, the streaming platforms. I have Peacock and Paramount. I'm pretty sure Peacock has some college games. They need to figure that out, bro. Let me tell you. So not only do I get games that have been blowouts so far, but the streaming is terrible. You watch 3
Okay.
plays and the thing freezes on you. And then not
Yeah.
to mention the captions or whatever, closed captions. Like I should probably turn those off for whatever reason, but they're on and they're like either really behind or it's just not anywhere close to like
Okay.
what has been said in the last minute. I'm like, what is
Yeah.
going on here? All while my game freezes and I gotta leave, go back, hit watch live, and then it's like the most terrible viewing experience of all time. So streaming platforms, please get it figured out.
Yeah, no doubt. I agree with you on that. Our next award, as you said, it's the Strahan Munoz Big Fella Award. We're talking about O-lines and D-lines. Jody, start with your O-line.
Yeah, so normally we like to showcase one dude here, but for me, we kind of touched on this earlier, talking about Bijan. I'm going to go with the O-line for the Falcons just in general. I mean, they had 2 different running backs with a total of over 200 rushing yards. Big numbers from, the starts on the line for any rushes, right? The big fellows are in the trenches putting in work for their 2 running backs to go and get the touches they need. They had what was I going with this? I forgot to write it down. They had the running backs, the 2 of them. So 2 out of the top 6 running backs were from their team in terms of fantasy points this week. So Bijan had, as we talked about, the catches and he had more catches really in terms of his production for running back, but Algier was he had 150 rushing on I don't know how many carries, but the D-line for the Falcons, not only did these dudes put in work, they also took the dub. And, you could only expect them to be doing pretty well in terms of this. Also, the Panthers. But we're not slighting the big fellas. They were letting their 2 backs get the work in. So, Falcons O-line, my Munoz receivers of the week.
So, I got the opposite side, the Strahan, the D-line of the week. I'm going specifically with my man, Drake Jackson out of USC, playing for the 49ers. I believe it's year 3 for him there. We talked about this in the offseason ourselves. I don't know if you remember me specifically asking about how good can Drake Jackson be, because they lost some players in free agency on that D-line. And so much was made about the 49ers losing some depth on the D-line in the offseason. They're going to a new defensive coordinator with Steve Wilks, all that, right? Turns out they're good. They're real good. They absolutely dominated the Steelers today. Probably the biggest dominating win of the day, 30-7, jumped on them from the jump in the opener. But Drake Jackson played like a Pro Bowl player today. He ate up all the one-on-one matchups he got all day long. This man had 3 sacks. He had 2 tackles for loss, and he had 3 QB hits as well. So he was getting to Kenny Pickett. He became Kenny Pickett's best friend today because he was in his ear all day long. The 49ers defense, they're just as good, if not better, than they were a year ago, even without DeMeco Ryans calling that thing. Steve Wilks looked good as the coordinator day 1. The 49ers had a great day, but in particular, Drake Jackson, shout out to that man. He was killing the Steelers O-line today. Yep.
Yeah, we love the domination from him, and that's always fun, especially those stats. That's got to be fun being the man making all those plays. I remember when I was on D-line, that was making a tackle alone was cool. If you're getting 3 sacks, you're just eating. No doubt.
And he's going to get one-on-one looks all year long because the man who's the highest paid defensive player in the NFL is on the opposite side of it. So that guy's getting double teams. You're getting singled up against. You should win. I mean, that's
for sure.
That's big time for him.
Yeah, our next award we're going to take a look at is the Who's Cooking Award. So we got QB, whether chefing up a primo steak or, maybe they got a bowl of cereal and some milk on the side, not even in the bowl because it wasn't looking good all day.
So this is better known as the Russell Wilson Award.
Yeah.
Because he's been both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why they're cooking.
Let Russ cook.
Yeah.
Let Russ cook.
So for me, it's probably going to come to a shocker to most people, at least myself for sure. I'm going with Mac Jones out of the Patriots. My dude I'm gonna say my expectations for the Patriots weren't good, especially with them playing the Eagles this week. I figured they were gonna eat up that team. I don't. We could give credit to having a new OC for the guy.
Bill
That's a
O'Brien.
possibility. But Mac Jones, he went 35 for 54, 316 yards, 3 touchdowns. Did have one pick, but 3 tutties on 300 plus yards, 2 rushes for 15 yards. And let's just say that he, exceeded my expectations. That tongue twister
Mhm.
there. And two, it was just when they're playing the Eagles, we expect them to have a good D. Jalen Hurts, we expect to light it up. Jalen Hurts didn't throw for nearly as many yards as this. He threw for like half and did more like running the ball. So I
Yeah.
would say Mac Jones is a very good recipient for this award this week, just because one, I didn't think he would be doing what he did this week, and 3 tutties on 300 yards is pretty good on a day.
Yeah. I mean, it should be noted the Pats were really close to winning that game. They ended up losing 25-20, but
Yeah,
Mac Jones led them on a drive down the field to try and win the
to
game.
almost close out. Yeah, that is
Yeah,
also
on
true.
4th and 11, I believe it was, he hit Kayshon Boutte, our
Just
guy from
couldn't get his
LSU.
foot down.
He
Yeah,
just couldn't get the toe tap down. If he coulda get
yeah.
the other toe down, they're 1st and goal. Um, good day for Mac. Tough that they didn't quite get the win against the Eagles, but they did play well, especially after the Eagles kinda jumped on them early. They were able to come back and make that thing a real game, almost come out with the win.
One more quick note. Also, who is he throwing to? You know what I mean? He's got Juju. You mentioned
Kendrick
Butte.
Bourne, Juju Smith, Juju Smith. I actually like their weapons. Hunter Henry.
Really?
I actually think, yeah,
I don't know
actually,
no one, bro. I
yeah,
know
yeah.
Juju is there and Butte because we talked about him in the
Kendrick
offseason.
Bourne's good. So is Hunter Henry.
Uh-huh. Well, yeah,
Yeah,
I got something to look into.
yeah.
Gotta do
Um,
my research.
my guy who was cooking though, and I'm talking like chefing, bro, like 5-star. Like this man is on the
Yeah.
Bear. If you've seen
Yeah.
that TV show, Tua Tagovailoa. Oh my
He had a
gosh,
5-course meal, bro, let me tell you.
Another Alabama QB. By the way, we featured 2 Alabama QBs today.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Similarly to Stafford, people talked about Tua being done this offseason,
yeah.
right? They talked about the injuries, the concussions they hit to the head. Hey, he should retire. Oh, Tua put on weight in the offseason. Ryan Clark was very critical of him. Tua clapped back and was like, yo, keep your name out of my mouth or my name out of your mouth. Said all, kind of stood up and was like, yo, I've worked really hard and I'm ready to go. And you
Yeah.
know what? Anyone
He
who's
ate
been doubting him in the offseason can't say anything after his performance today because that man
Yeah.
ate. He came out in week 1. He threw for 466 yards. 466 yards. This dude threw for almost 500 yards in one game, number
Yeah.
one. He had 3 touchdowns, including the game winner on the road to Tyreek Hill. They went into LA, beat the Chargers 36-34. He has an absolutely special connection with Tyreek Hill, who we talked about earlier, and Jalen Waddle, might I add. He played with great poise. He made every throw that his team needed him to make. The last throw, the touchdown to Tyreek, was an absolute dot.
Yeah. That was insane, bro. Watching the ending of that game was crazy. I knew it was gonna be a shootout for one. It just gotta be. We talked about the Chargers D, and just watching both of those dudes go to work was crazy. And then the D after that touchdown from Tyreek just closed it out. 2 sacks, made Herbert just couldn't get it done. It was a great game, just watching alone. And then Tua definitely balled.
And before we get to the next award, which might be my favorite, by the way, just a quick scores update. Cowboys 33, Giants 0 in the third quarter.
That's tough.
Sheesh.
I will say I had the ESPN open so I could look at the scores periodically, but once it was like 26-0, I was like, it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Yeah. Tough day for the Giants.
Yeah, so the Boo Boo Evans Award that we're gonna get into right now, it comes to our guy. I think his real name's Jordan Evans. Wherever you're at, bro. Sorry, you're the leader of this award, but it's basically a player who didn't perform at all, nearly.
The guy who's
they talked up a high
week.
hope. Yeah, they talked up high hopes all week, and then they came to the game and goose egged or something, you know.
The
So
guy
this
who's
week,
getting the award this week is like the perfect. Like we should almost rename it to his name, the Boo Boo Evans and blah 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 award. I don't want to give it away, but like
yeah,
perfect.
I had an original dude who I swapped out because I remember seeing on X the memes going crazy for this guy. It was like this ball, if you could believe it or not, it was actually a pick six, right? So for the winner this week, Kadarius Toney, my guy. You know, hopefully you can figure it out next week. But my dude had one catch for -1 yards on 5
Wow.
targets.
Wow. Rough
Yeah,
night for him. I mean,
yeah, that's for sure.
he boo booed all over the place, no question. And we talked
And
about it a
it
little
was
bit.
and it was not only that, the biggest stage probably for the year until like playoffs, because the first game of the year, everyone's hyped for football to be back. You know, it's just probably
Un,
one thing you don't
un,
want to do. You know.
yeah, unfortunately for KT, he's going to come back up in our next segment as well. Sorry. But
Well, we'll look forward to talking about him on our turnover on downs, because you know my dude's at his lowest of lows right now. So Kadarius, please get it figured out, because we don't want to see you back down here as the name of the
yeah,
award going forward.
we want to get you on the Jody's dog of the week instead.
And yeah,
KT, figure it
you
out.
gotta drop at least 2 tutties and 100 yards to get up there.
Yeah,
We need the
okay.
big performance for you to make a comeback.
To bounce back. Yeah, no
Yeah,
question.
yeah. But this turnover on downs I was speaking of, we got four different, plays per se, or downs. And first, we got you talking about a trend that you've seen in the league, at least for the week or going forward. Like something predominant that has been used all around the league. So, what do you got for us this week?
Yeah, well, I like to keep track of like what's happening in the NFL, right? In terms of just trends. And usually they're schematic things. They could be other things, but generally they're schematic. All
Yeah.
right. So the first thing I've got here, if you can see my screen, Joe, are we good
Yeah,
there?
yeah, we're Gucci right there. We got the little
Okay.
FUD concept. Yeah.
So if you're listening, I'll try and be very descriptive here, but if you're watching, you'll be able to see the screen here. Something I've been noticing, the NFL has gone more and more defensively to 2 high safeties, which makes a ton of sense. The defensive scheme I play, even in high school, has generally always 2 high safeties.
Uh-huh.
And the reason being, you try and eliminate explosive plays from offenses. You want to make them drive the length of the field. You want to make them earn it. You don't want to give the vertical ball over the top, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you don't
you
want to get
keep
beat
2
deep.
safeties deep. You get you keep 2 safeties deep in order to keep everything in front of you. The problem with that is generally you leave yourself light in the box when you do that, because you have 2 guys deep. You have to have 2 corners. That leaves 7 players. And
Yeah.
depending on what the
3
offense is
down
doing,
linemen.
yeah, well, 3 or 4 down linemen and then 3 or 4
Yeah.
linebackers. And again, personnel wise, teams generally are playing with 6 box guys and then 5 DBs, right? And 2 of
Yeah.
those 5 are 2 high safeties, right? And then you kind of have a nickel guy, and depends on what scheme you're playing, where you put him. But point being, defenses have kept these 2 high safeties, but someone like Seattle last year, they got gashed in the run game, right? So what they do, if you're seeing, they have this nickel guy out here, right? And he's trying to cheat. So what they're doing is they're leaving these slot receivers uncovered, and they're bringing this nickel corner or nickel safety, nickel backer, whoever it is cheating towards the box so that
Uh-huh.
you can fill run gaps and not give up the run, right? Even though you have
Yeah,
2 high
yeah.
safeties. So this is a trend from defenses. Well, the way that offenses are now countering that is you'll see they're going to throw the quick hitch to the slot. So teams have really begun going RPO, and instead of running this guy in the slant behind it, they're running either the out route or the quick sit route right where
Yeah.
that backer used to be, right? Because now they're closer to the box to cheat him for run fit because they don't have the safety there. Now they're leaving the slots open because that safety is too deep to make the play, and
Yeah.
that nickel guy is too far inside to
He's
make
too
that play.
inside the shade. Yeah.
So you'll watch, they'll clear out the corner with the number 1 receiver running the vertical. That'll take the corner's eyes away just long enough. And they're going to give this run fake, which takes this nickel corner's feet and eyes inside just enough so that Stafford can fit this throw into the slot hitch right away on 2nd and goal here from about the 17-yard line. And you'll see it gets him 16 yards on 2nd and goal. So here you go. Stafford puts it in a perfect spot. Puka Nacua, the guy who we shouted out, breaks the tackle by the corner initially and is able to drag him all the way down to the 1-yard line. Big time play, but you'll just see, again, he runs the little sit route. We're going to get the play action fake. It keeps that nickel guy inside. He can't get back out there to make the play because Stafford throws it to Nakua's outside shoulder.
I was going to say, what a spot on that ball to make sure he could get it away from the defender.
It's a great spot, on the throw by Stafford, and a great play by Puka Nacua to then not only catch it,
break a
but
tackle,
to drag that guy. Yeah, to drag that guy all the way down to the goal line. So just a quick little thing so that when you're watching football, if you're looking at it, you're like, hey, that defense playing 2 high safeties. Oh, that nickel corner's cheating inside. Is that team going to throw the quick slot hitch? That's just a trend. And offenses react to defenses and defense react to offense. So as the season goes, look for defenses to sort of have a counter to teams throwing that slot hitch. And it may be scooting the safety up in certain downs and distances. It may be keeping the backer out in certain downs and distances. Depends on what they're doing schematically, but just look for that. 2nd down. Jody, do you have a bet for the coming week of football?
So sadly enough,
for the people.
Sadly enough, we haven't gotten any bets on the upcoming week. So the only one I could give you is I'm taking the Jets tomorrow to win the game. It's at plus 105, so you get a little extra cheese on your $1 or $10, whatever you're betting, whatever allows it in your pocket. But that's the best I could do is for tomorrow's game. I'm rolling with the Jets at home over the Bills.
You don't like any of the spreads for next week's games?
I don't have them. What are you looking on?
I on ESPN they've got them, dude. You want me to give you? You want me to run down the list real quick?
I'll just look it up. Real brief, sorry to the fans. This is a bad podcasting right here, but we'll get you. We got.
They don't have lines for every game, but almost all of them. Okay. They don't have Jets, Cowboys because those teams, and Giants, Cardinals because they're playing. So, but every other game they have a line.
All right. You know what? I might need you to just tell me, unless if I hit.
So Thursday Night Football, they've got the Vikings at the Eagles. Philly is a 7.5 point favorite.
Okay, I got you now. I see him.
Okay.
Based off the first couple games I'm looking at, I might take Ravens to win that game. I don't know what the amount you win is going to be, but since he's -3, that's looking good in my eyes for the Ravens so far. Let me keep scrolling. Denver -3 might be tough. 3.5, I guess. Sorry. Packers -1. I like that. He's a lot, actually.
I do like the Packers.
We'll get into that a little bit too, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We will.
Let's see. Yeah, I'm rolling that Ravens game. I think that's one I like the most so far. Or even the Packers. I would say the Ravens just going to get more juice out of your money because it's -3 for the Bengals. But Ravens to win that game or Packers to win. I'm going Ravens for sure. That's the one I'm gonna throw out to the fans. Ravens to win.
Okay. Sounds good. Ravens, your bet for next week, everybody.
Yeah. I like them. Oh, whoa.
All right.
The stream is back. I heard the little noise. Like, wait, what? Threw me off.
So we've got my 3rd down breakdown. Every week I'll give you guys a 3rd down play that I really thought was a crucial play in a game. Break it down for you, what they're doing on offense, what they're doing on defense, and explain what happened and why. So first, we'll start with the offense. This is 3rd and 6 with about 10 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. The Chiefs are up 14-7. Critical 3rd and 6, right around midfield. They don't want to punt the ball back to the Lions. They want to try and get points, build the lead. They're up 7. They're trying to, pull away from the Lions who are scrappy on the road. So what they're going to do, they've got a little 3-by-1 set. They're going to motion in. This is actually your guy, Watson, that you were talking about. They're going to motion him in. to create the cluster with the other receiver here. I believe that's Marquez Valdes-Scantling. They're going to run what we call double mesh, which means you're going to get the double unders from Kadarius Toney and Marquez Valdes-Scantling, and then Watson's going to run the sit route at about 10 yards, sitting behind them. So the idea is that these guys clear out the middle of the field and take away underneath defenders, and then you clear it for Watson to throw him the ball. On the outside, you've got a guy who's running just a go route, a clear route. And then Jerick McKinnon is going to step up in the protection, and he'll release late. Now, what the Lions are doing, the Lions are playing man coverage with their corners. They're going to play what's called a peel technique with Alex Anzalone on the back. So when the back releases, you'll see him go with the back. And then really what they're doing, they've got two high safeties here. They're kind of bracketing. They're playing 3-on-2 with these two interior players here.
Yeah.
And then this safety is free on the half field side. Okay. So you're getting essentially like 2-man on this side, and then they're locking this guy up and playing 3-over-2 on this side. All right. With again, Alex Anzalone on the 2-man side. He's got to play the back if the back leaks. If the back stays in, he can add. All right. So now we know what both teams are doing. The Chiefs snap it, right? They bring the short motion in. You can see they're clearing the routes right now. The Lions are playing it with they're playing their 3-on-2, letting it sort out. He'll take the underneath route. The safety's going to have to take the curl, and that'll leave rookie Deion Branch free on this side. Now, this corner has got to run. What'd I say?
Deion.
Ha! Not Deion Branch. That's an old school name right there. Brian Branch. Thank you. But the corner at the top, he's struggling to run with Kadarius Toney on the under, right?
Yeah.
So which is always hard in man coverage to have to run with unders. It's a bear, man, because they just run away from you so quick.
You just got to straddle and hope for the best.
So you can see what Mahomes sees. He sees Kadarius Toney is pulling away. He could have held the ball another second and probably hit Watson in the middle of the field, wide open. But he makes the right read. He sees Kadarius Toney pulling away from an under route on man coverage. So all you got to do is put it on him and let your receiver run for the first down. Well, he puts it on him. The problem is Kadarius Toney drops the ball.
He got rocks.
And remember, we said Brian Branch was sitting on this side free. Johnny on the spot. Ball pops into his hands.
To the house.
And he scores. The rookie second rounder, who we really liked in the draft. He was one of my top safeties in the draft. I think I had him as either my favorite or my second best safety.
I think he was my favorite.
And already showing up and making plays for the Lions on a critical third down. This was a huge momentum changer. It tied the game at 14 and completely changed the outlook of what was going on in that game, and obviously contributed to a Lions win. So big time for the Lions that their rookies, Jahmyr Gibbs, Brian Branch, and even Jack Campbell, all showing up big in the win. Despite people saying they didn't like the Lions draft, I told all you people you were wrong, that they had a great draft. Regardless of the positions they drafted, those guys are awesome.
That's for sure. So fourth down, closing out our turnover on downs. It's going to be my bad beat of the week. Let's just say, it's a team near and dear to my heart, the Broncos. They lost by a point. And you know what happened for them to lose by a point? Their kicker, Will Lutz, missed a PAT, which could have led it to overtime, which, hopefully they would have pulled one out at that point. But they lost, and I had them winning. So that's going to be my bad beat, all due to a PAT miss, which is why they pushed it back so that could happen more often.
That is a bad beat. That's tough.
Yeah, not fun over here. I had all my parlays not do well. I had going in after my lunch or after I got off of work, I pulled it up. I lost 3 out of my 4, and the fourth one, it lost due to the Seahawks losing and the Broncos not winning, and so it was all bad.
Sorry,
bad.
dude.
No, it's whatever. I don't bet the big bucks. I just bet for funsies. But it's always tough when you're like, man, I one away. I had NCAA one. I missed because I think I had Houston winning and they lost in overtime, or I had the spread. Long story short, and they didn't cover that. So
okay,
good times over here in the spread department.
All right, so finishing out the week here, our last segment, we've got the coaches Q&A. This
So
is
yeah,
Jody's opportunity to ask me questions.
yeah. This one I'm gonna keep it simple this week. First week under our belt, keep it light. So my first question for you is there a team that shocked you or stood out to you in then this first week of games?
Well, I think there was 3 games in particular that were standouts. I mean, actually, even the Sunday night game is a little bit shocking, quite frankly. Not
Yeah,
that the Cowboys won, but how they're
that the
winning.
Giants aren't
Yeah, that the
responding at all.
Giants are
Yeah.
so bad tonight. But really, I think the most surprising game of the day, the Buccaneers winning in Minnesota. That was a
Mhm.
team that I had winning 3 or 4 games this year.
Yeah, both of us.
I just thought that the questions at quarterback were too great. However, the infrastructure of a championship football team is still there. You still
True.
have Mike Evans
Evans,
and Chris Godwin, and you still have those guys on defense that are
45,
really fast, really good.
White.
So I do think that they surprised me, but maybe I shouldn't have been surprised.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I
I
think
got you.
they're probably going to be better than what we expected. I do think the Steelers getting rocked at home by the 49ers
Mm,
was
another
surprising.
big one.
And I think the Rams winning the way that they won on the road in Seattle was surprising. But the most
Yeah,
surprising of all of those was definitely the Buccaneers getting a victory in Minnesota.
yeah. No, yeah. I remember when me and Johnny were talking about these games before, and he's like, "The Steelers, man, I think they might be able to pull that one off." And then I saw
I
the
thought so
score.
too.
I
Yeah.
saw the score and said, "Whoa, this is." I don't know how everything played out, like I said, but definitely surprising that it was that big of a point differential.
The Niners jumped on them early from the
I
jump. I
mean,
mean, defensively, they were all over the place. They created a few turnovers really quick and
yeah.
just racked up points.
All right, so my second question for you, I guess my last one, we only got a couple on here, is going to be who do you think, whether a player or team, will be better than we originally expected at the start of the season?
Um, I don't necessarily think that it's you and I like this team. They may be
Yeah.
even better than we thought, but I think definitely better than the general public thought. The
Mhm.
Packers. I think a
Yeah.
lot of people thought, "Oh, no Jordan, no Aaron Rodgers. This team's going to take a step back. They don't have the veteran
Yeah.
receivers
They were
that they
looking
had."
nice.
Turns out Jordan Love is really good. I tried to tell you that in the offseason. Joe, I think I convinced you at one
No,
point,
you
right?
did. You did. When we did the NFC North, definitely you put them on my map. They
Yeah.
were off that for sure. And then we talked about, I was like, maybe Jordan Love could be real. And
And
so
he
we're
looked
definitely looking at
real
that.
today. Unfortunately for Bears fans, the agony of
He
going from
is
Brett
their
Favre to
daddy.
Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love may just kill some of these Bears fans. The Packers still dominated them. Jordan Love looks real. Aaron Jones was awesome. Their
Mhm.
receivers in their second year, Romeo Dobbs and Christian Watson, were great. Their defense, though, the Packers' defense looks absolutely real.
Yeah.
They balled out today.
They had like a
Um,
pick, I think.
they
And
had a defensive touchdown on a pick
mhm,
six from Quay Walker.
yeah.
They had the Bears fans booing their own offense today. That's how good the Packers defense was. So that Packers team, I know everyone loves the Lions. I know
Yeah.
everyone's ready for the Lions to win the
It'd be a
NFC North.
dogfight for that for
It's
sure.
gonna be tough with that Packers team, and I still think the Vikings and the Bears could play a factor, even though both those
Yeah.
teams lost week 1. But yeah, don't count out the Packers in the NFC North if you're on that Lions hype train, because that's still gonna be a battle.
Yeah. No, I will say for sure when the glimpses I got to see of that Packers game while at the gym was looking good. The defense was definitely great. I think they forced a fumble on Justin Fields on a run even, like,
Mhm.
couple things they were definitely trending up for sure. And they're on people's maps, I gotta believe, especially after this first game.
No
But
doubt.
but to close out this week of awards, we got our usual the banger of the week. What you got for us, bro?
The banger of the week. So generally this is, we're giving you something that we like, whether it's pop culture, music, movies, TV show, food, whatever it is. And usually these are new things. But you know what? This week I'm just going with an oldie but goodie.
The
And
classic.
I heard it the other day.
Uh-huh.
First time I heard it in a while, and it took me back to high school because the song
Yep.
always does. Because this was the song that we listened to before every single varsity football game, and we always listened to it right before we
Screaming
walked
the
out,
words.
and we were all just going crazy walking out of the tunnel because this was the
Yeah.
last song we listened to. This was the song that inspired the Eagles on their first champion or their first Super Bowl win ever.
Yeah.
It's Nightmares and Dreams by Meek Mill, and that song still bangs.
Yeah.
Listened to it the other
Facts.
day for, like I said, for the first time in a long time, and I was like, "Yep, the song is still that good."
What can I ask? What was the context of you listening to this song?
Oh, you know what happened? It came on during our pregame warm up on Friday,
Oh, really?
and I
At
was
the
like, "Oh,"
stadium?
and I was feeling it. I was like, "Yeah," I'm a coach, right? So it doesn't matter if I'm
Yeah,
high.
yeah.
Really, you
Yeah,
don't want
yeah.
to be hyped up. You want to be excited for the kids, whatever. But I was kind of like
Yeah.
throwing footballs and warm ups to the kids, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, dude, I'm getting ready to go right now. I wish I could play."
That's comedy.
I'm telling you,
Yeah,
it just
no.
instantly. I mean, certain songs or smells or foods can just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you
Takes you back
associate
for
with like a
sure.
time in your life,
Yep.
and it instantly took me back to playing high school football.
Yeah, no doubt. I already got the vision in my eyes, bro. I'm sitting down on that bench in the locker room right next to that door. You know what I'm talking about?
Mhm.
Sitting there. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Y'all thought I was
What
finished?
what was that fool's name, bro? Nigel. Our guy Nigel going crazy in the corner
Oh,
too.
yeah, dude, Nigel used to
Eh,
go super hard to
That
that
was his
song, yeah.
jam, bro. That was his
Dude.
jam.
Yeah, our
Yeah,
junior
good
year,
time.
that was the most fun
Yeah,
team, man. We
yeah,
we we would crank that thing to like 100
yeah.
and then walk out with it. Oh my gosh, dude, that was awesome. Yeah, no
Yeah,
question.
good
Takes
times
you
for
back.
sure. Yeah, I saw you write down still bangs. I just started laughing because I knew
Yeah,
exactly where you're going with that.
yeah, it still goes hard. It still goes, man. All right, can't wait for week 2 of the NFL season. Gonna be some big games on our radar, not the least of which 49ers Rams, Ravens Bengals, like we got some good stuff. However, I'm
Mhm.
still excited for tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Jets
Oh,
Bills. We're gonna have to
Jets
talk about
Bills
that
gonna
one
be
next week.
crazy. Yeah, we definitely gotta get that recap. Hopefully, w- y'all fans could be happy that we made some money on that one tomorrow. But yeah, that's gonna be a dogfight. We get to see Aaron Rodgers first time.
Rodgers
Playing a
versus
regular season
Allen.
game in the Jets.
Yeah,
It's gonna be something crazy.
gonna be a
Probably a
spectacle, man.
shootout. Probably a
Mhm.
shootout to the wire. A lot of things to look forward to in that game. And
No
hopefully
doubt,
we don't get disappointed on a low scoring game because that's not what we expect at all.
for sure. All right,
But yeah,
well, until we talk about that next weekend, you can listen
Ray
to our
Ray.
guy Ray Ray take us
Yes,
out.
sir.